So I got a lot of excitement, you know, out of the early tests on some of the Optic and stuff, but I just want to see if it gets graded and see what kind of score it gets, because I just don't know. Let's try it out, you know? So I grabbed one that I think will, like, has the potential, like if I didn't have that stuff on the back, to be like a 10 card probably. 9, 10, I don't know. Sometimes 9s or 10s are like a mystery why it gets one or the other, but I don't see any problems with this card, except for these. So what I'm going to do is soak it. I'll document how long it takes to hopefully get these out. I'll let you know if there's any problems, like the card blows up or splits or something like that. You know, I have not done a 19 Prizm yet, so, or anything Optic or Prizm or whatever, so we'll do that. And then dry it and make it look nice again, and I'll get it graded and see if this is a good idea or if it's a total flop. You miss every shot you don't take, I guess. So we'll take this shot, we'll see what happens. And just want to put it in. And this is the unique thing about soaking any card, is these take a lot longer to saturate because it's hard to get them. You know, you have a moisture proof back coat and top coat, so it's got to all go on the sides. So you'll see like all this little like bubbling going on, but that's good. And can you see how it's like saturating it? It's getting in there. But they don't curl too much because that plastic front will usually hold it pretty flat. So this is it. This is the process. The time lapse was cool. Got the cool buttons, might as well press them, you know. I can still kind of see that circle in there. That line that I put in there is gone. I don't know why the circle wouldn't be totally gone, but we'll just see how it looks. So let's get it out of there. I still want to be very careful with these. And I want to inspect that there's no like damage. Like this, it didn't split open. So that could potentially happen. I mean, we're still kind of in the early phases of this. But let me dry it off here. So you can use a paper towel or a microfiber, but you just want to get as much moisture out of it as you can. So here's the thing that I would advise. Don't try to squeeze it and get a bunch of moisture out right now. Like, it's tempting to have it dry quickly, but I think if you push on it, you could separate the front and the back. So I'm just going to treat it real delicate. And like when the card dries, you can put it between, you know, a little bit more the plates and stuff like that to hold it flat and make sure the texture looks really good. Because right now the texture, when you do this, looks similar to stock, but it gets a little lumpier. So it's because it's full of moisture. All right, so that's as far as I want to go, and I'm gonna change these pads out because, like, when you do a vintage card, like, the whole card is wet. This is dry, but it's all wet inside, so I gotta slowly get it to come out from, you know, the card spray to come out from all four sides. Okay, so that's as far as we're gonna go right now. I'll change out these plates, you know, every hour or so, and just get it drying and see if I can get all that stuff off the back, and then see what type of grade it gets. I held it between pads, two pads, pad on top, and my plates. Held it between plates for 24 hours, and that like pushed the spray out of the card and it collected around it. And then after that, I knew I had to like hold it a little bit more firm, so I just got rid of the pads and put it between the plates, all while protecting it with an oversized sleeve so it didn't stick, okay? So then I did that for like a day. So then it was flat, but it was still cool to the touch. Like these things hang, moisture hangs in these things. But I knew I had to hold it flat because on the first couple of rounds I did, the texture was weird. And after holding it flat, the texture looks damn good. And but all that touching and stuff made the card filthy. I got like marks and stuff all over it. So I just want to like clean it, prep it, and get a grade on it so I can tell collectors, hey, give it a shot, you know? Because I had, so far the feedback I've received is there's some years of modern era cards, modern just meaning a plastic front, shiny plastic back, where sitting in solution, they split apart. So you don't want that, obviously. So, but if there are a few years that you can do this and dial down the variables, like how long to soak it and stuff like that, it could be a really helpful thing to be able to do when you have a nice card with a big hit on the back. So I don't see it anymore. It looks good and the texture looks good, but the edges are a little bit funky. So let's just clean this thing up. Little chunky edges like that, so you just have a nice clean edge. But that's nice, right? Pulled all that crap out of there just with that. So let's do the next step. And while I'm doing this, I just want to stress you guys, like, it's pretty exciting to be able to potentially fix up a card that has a huge dent in the back like this, but I've only been working on stuff that's like cheap. I don't really, you know, from a restoration perspective, if you can fix, you know, a base card with the same issues, that gives me the confidence to work on the good stuff. But just hear me loud and clear, guys. It's just version kind of 1.0 on this. I just want to see how it grades, and that will determine if it's worth it. Because when it comes to the vintage cards you see me soak and clean, they're usually like a 1 or a 2, you know? I mean, they're like, from a grading perspective or condition perspective, they're pretty low. So, you know, when you soak a card and pull a bunch of dirt out of it and creases out of it, it looks better and it's fun, you know? And then sometimes you get a point or 2 higher, because there's still a lot of technical issues with a card that's a 1 or a 2, you know? But like, if you've seen my work before, it's pretty darn impressive when you can make a card look so much better, you know? It's just a fun thing to be able to physically do. But with these, they're not dirty. They're not all bent up. They're just like weird injuries on the back of these cards. The surface looks pretty darn good. I just want to show you guys and myself what I'm dealing with. And then the back looks really good. I don't need to polish the back. The back is clean. All right, fingers crossed, guys. As soon as I get a number grade on this or whatever they tell me, I'll report back so you know if that's a good option for you to soak a modern era card. Cool. All right, I'm Kurt with Kurt's Card Care.